Hey everybody, what's up? You know, I didn't see Raw last night, and pretty much like I didn't see Hell in a Cell. But let me explain something. I'm not tuning out Raw or anything. I love Raw. I do. I love watching and recording it. But I think anybody can pretty much understand that what's going on with Vicky is the same thing we've seen before when she's been in a position of power. We pretty much know what's going to lead. Now, true, they've added some elements between her, AJ, John, and Dolph. Okay, that's pretty cool. But apparently, according to one Kurt Angle, former WWE and current TNA star, they're kind of ripping off a little bit of the Clara Lynch storyline. Almost like, he didn't really say this, but almost like maybe the way Kurt's seeing it, and maybe some others, when they hear about this, maybe they're trying to prove that they could finish something that TNA couldn't. Just saying. Now again though, I'm not tuning out Raw or anything. It's just the same thing I've seen before. It's like when the Nexus and John Cena was in the Nexus deal. I'd seen that before. I knew what the outcome was going to be. The same with Vicky. I know what the outcome is. Basically, her position of power is so she can help find a loophole for Dolph to cash in and become WWE champion. We pretty much know that. I don't think it should be a hidden secret to anybody. It's pretty much a well-known fact. Now, I could be wrong, but I digress. Because let's take a look at it this way. You go back in history in her association, when she was running Raw the first time, Edge was supposed to be like a SmackDown guy, right? What did Edge do? He loses the world title on SmackDown, same night, Elimination Chamber, attacks Kofi Kingston, takes his place in the cell, Vicky allows it, and he becomes WWE champion. What does that tell you? I'll tell you what it tells me. It tells me we're going to see the exact same thing in similar ways with Dolph. That's basically what it is. Now, I know the WWE, apparently, from what I understand, is desperate for storyline. They're desperate for some kind of storyline out there. But if they're so desperate for a storyline, why can't they come up with something original? I mean, I'm not saying that they won't come up with something original when it comes out of this whole situation with AJ, Vicky, and John and Dolph. But it's got to be something different. They got to add some original elements. I mean, if Dolph comes out and says, "Hey, if it's revealed that Vicky and Dolph kind of made up the whole situation or exaggerated on the whole AJ John thing," which apparently from last night isn't, up to your own conclusion. As Dolph said, you can draw your own conclusions. But all depending. If this whole thing, let's say, storyline-wise, one way to go with it is for Dolph to say, "Hey, look, I need to beat you. We did this because I need to face you, John. I need to face you and beat you to establish myself as the new face of the company, as the new franchise, as the new poster boy." That would make sense, because someone like Dolph, thinking he's the show-off, thinking he's the most talented guy, the best in the world, if you will, the best the WWE has, why wouldn't he want to go after the poster boy and say, "Hey, if I beat you, I become the new poster boy. I become the new franchise player. I become the new face"? Why wouldn't he? Why wouldn't he want to go after John? Makes sense to me. But then again, you could also have the fact, again, you can go in the other direction, that Vicky just wants power to help Dolph, which we've seen before. Now, everybody wonders how this is all going to culminate and how long Vicky's going to be in power. Well, apparently a lot of people have been feeling that Raw was lackluster. A post-edition of a pay-per-view Raw was lackluster last night, saying the only newsworthy items out of there were, one, Beth being written off TV by being fired, and two, we get the announcement of a traditional Survivor Series match for this year's Survivor Series between Foley's team and Punk's team. That's the only interesting aspect about it. everything else, according to like the Off the Rope show, rinse, repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. You know, and I understand they're in a rut. I mean, this is why This is why the title says talking about WWE's situation, current situation. You know, I can understand they're in a rut with these things, and more so, let's talk about the pay-per-view this past Sunday, Hell in a Cell, as well as some other pay-per-views previously this year, in the past year, and probably upcoming. Everybody has said that one of the things WWE does badly is they don't advertise matches that get added on. Hell in a Cell, they said, some people said Hell in a Cell felt like a vamped up or an upgraded version of Raw. That's what they said. That's what they felt like to them. An upgraded version of Raw. Okay, that's their opinion. They could stick to it. Now, if it's an upgraded version of Raw, that kind of says something. I mean, it does. It does say so. But let's take a look as to why they would feel that way. Mostly because, besides the matches that were advertised, the matches like Orton and Del Rio, the tag title match, the Intercontinental, the Divas, the World, and the WWE. Basically, like I say, Orton, Del Rio, Team Hell No, Road Scholars, Eve, Caitlyn, Layla, Miz, Kofi, Sheamus, Big Show, and here. You had basically 6 matches that were advertised. But you had 2 additional matches, if you will. Now, like, as some people say, thrown at the last minute. One additional match being for the United States title between Justin and Antonio. Yes, this has been talked about out throughout the week when Justin beat Antonio on Raw. That with the non-title victory, he gets himself a title shot. Okay, that's true. But I do admit they could have at least came out on SmackDown or maybe made an event and said, hey, this match has been added. And then you have the PTPs, the primetime players against Rey and Sin Cara. Against Rey and Cara, if you will. Rey Mysterio and Sin Cara. Pretty much a lot of people said that match, at least, they said the only positive sign about that is at least you got more than one tag match on a pay-per-view, which shows the WWE, and in most cases Triple H, is showing some revested interest in the tag team division. Now, that's good and all, but that's the main complaint. They have said basically, why would you add additional matches without advertising them? Here's why. Here's why WWE, and let's not just point out WWE. TNA has done this too, and so has Ring of Honor. Mostly Ring of Honor a lot, but you know, they're an entirely different story. But WWE, here's why WWE and at times TNA does this. It's the surprise factor. Yes, it's to fill out probably the 3 hours they've bought to air the pay-per-view. That's true. It's probably that reason. But there's another reason. Another reason, folks. It's the reason being is because basically they want to surprise people. They pretty much figure people are going to be spending $45 or $55 or $65 on this event. And they pretty much say, you know what, they're going to look at this. I mean, WWE, let's face it, the inside people of WWE, they are not stupid. They realize the fans are going to look at 6 matches and say, that's not worth spending $45, $55, $65 on. That's more worth paying maybe $35, or paying more like, let's say, $25, $35, and $45, if you will. So what do? They pretty much figure, well, if we add a 7th match, that'll up it. And we add an 8th match, that'll up it. So basically, the WWE's, the way they look at it is that they add 2 or 3 or even 4 additional matches without you knowing, unadvertised. It not only in their creative minds gives you the surprise factor, but it also, in their minds, makes the pay-per-view worth the money you're spending. Yeah. makes it worth the money you're spending. So in other words, they're saying, hey, if we add 2 or 3 or 4 additional matches without advertisement, it'll make up for the price. It'll equal the price of what people are paying for it. Because again, whether you like the WWE creative or the backstage politics or whatever, or those up in Stamford, Connecticut, if they feel, hey, this isn't 6 matches is not going to be worth $45 or $55 or $65 to these people, we need to up the ante, and so be it. So be it. So be it in the So basically, so be it. They're going to add additional matches whether they're advertised or not, because they know in their minds it'll equal out to what people are paying. That's why they do it. They pretty much know that, hey, if we give 2 or 3 more additional matches, we're giving them more bang for the bucks that they're paying. You know, and again, like I said, they pretty much, I know I'm repeating myself here, but they know, the WWE knows, that if they just make people pay for just 6 matches, they know that they're either going to make up for it by adding a few more additional matches, or they got to make sure those 6 matches have enough time to fill out the 3 hours and are worth the money people are going to be spending. Basically make sure those matches have actual stories and backgrounds. Get what I'm saying? Now, as far as the Survivor Series goes, the situation there, you know, a lot of people say, why didn't they add Punk, or why didn't they add Brock Lesnar to the Punk team? Here's why. We can't count out that in the next 2-3 weeks, they're going to add maybe Lesnar to the team. They might take somebody might get injured, like let's say a Del Rio or Cody or a Damian or a Miz. You know, they might get injured storyline-wise and get taken out. And then it might happen again, and then the similar situation might happen to Foley's team. So don't be surprised if that happens and the replacements for whoever gets injured are Lesnar and Taker, or Lesnar and Rock. Don't be surprised by that. But here's another reason why they didn't do it. One, they pretty much know that, now storyline-wise, I would have loved to see Lesnar get added to the team, because I know it would create some elements to it, a storyline element. Basically, it would allow people to get behind Punk again, because Lesnar would, this is the way I think they should have done it. They should have added Lesnar onto the team with the condition that Lesnar is the captain, and it's called Team Lesnar instead of Team Punk. That would have created some conflict, because here you have Punk saying, hey, I'm the best in the world. I'm the WWE champion going on a year now as champion. I should not be following somebody that only shows up sporadically, like The Rock does. So to me, that would create an interesting element. But we'll just have to wait and see. Right now, I think it's okay with what they have, so we'll just let it be and see what they do. But that's my video on WWE's current situation. You want comment, video response down below. Let me know what you guys think. Do you agree with what I said? And I'll talk to y'all later.